Well, hey there, good morning, YouTube. Petey Two Finger making a video before I've had my coffee. I'm not even in the frame. Oh my God, my medication hasn't kicked in yet. I have herniated discs, so I live with chronic pain. So that's changed a lot of things for me. But yeah, I feel like shit right now. Why am I making this video? Okay, someone commented on I think it was must have been the Tomahawk. Tomahawk's a Mike Patton Project band, and they're coming out with an album soon. Someone commented, oh shit! Someone commented, hey, if you like Mr. Bungle, does that mean that you like Red Hot Chili Peppers? Now, a couple of months ago, at like some ungodly part of the morning, like 4 a.m. here, I was shutting down, and I got a message on one of my YouTube videos. Hey, we want to talk to you, buddy. So I clicked on this Discord link. I know what Discord is. I've never been there. I go, and there's people there, and they're like, oh my God, he's really here. And then they're like, it's not him. They're like, it's not Petey. It's some guy pretending to be Petey Two Finger. So here what it is, it's a group of fans of what used to be called alternative, which I would just call underground or exceptional music. Okay, so it's young people. It seemed to me, and I may be wrong, it seemed to me they were all, like, a lot of them didn't even have their driver's license, or they weren't drinking age, in that area. And they're real enthusiastic, and they've got this group, and they're talking about all of the main Mike Patton projects. There's Discord areas for those. And they wanted to know about this video that I had made, if I was serious. Someone there was making meme images of my face. This is a man who doesn't get any pussy, which I'm married and I have kids. I'm in my 50s. I walk with a cane sometimes. It's like picking on me for that, like if you really knew what my life was like. But I'm married and I have a lovely wife. So, yeah, they had found this video that I made where I talked about Mr. Bungle fans, that none of those people really like that band, that they're pretending to like this awful, unlistenable music, and the only reason they play it is to get a rise out of others, to make people think that they have developed an intellect. Which is true. It's true. And I went in a lot of detail. I made the video a number of times and refined it. If I do that, if I take some time and keep rehearsing it and say that take wasn't good enough and keep doing it, what you'll end up with is something that has a delivery to it. It's consistent, and I can do fairly well at that, but it'll consume a big chunk of a day doing that. So I made this video. It was a good video. It might even been a great video. The way that people responded to it, I'm going to say that it was. And that was why these people became curious about me, because it's one of their favorite bands, and here I am saying that there's nobody out there that really truly enjoys this music, that you only listen to it to set yourself apart, to make yourself look like you're weird. Now, mind you, Mr. Bungle's music is not accessible. Okay, it takes some time for me, for my type of taste. I know if I get an album and I don't necessarily like it, but I know that there's something there. I can hear there's some substance here. There's something undefinable quality, and it doesn't automatically like really turn me off. If I keep listening to that album, there's a chance that about a week into that process of listening to it every day for an hour or two, it's going to hit me like a fucking train, and then it's going to become like a staple album in my my library of music. It's a great work. It's just not easily accessible on the first couple of listens. You can't really get it. Once you've softened up your brain and you've heard it and become familiar, at some point it's going to click. And usually that, like, I remember it happening, like, with California, I really didn't like California when I first listened to it. And I remember saying to my wife, I came home from work and I said, I think I'm starting to really like this album. And I listened to it, and then it was just like, holy fuck, is this unbelievably great. And so it happened for me before it happened for her, but I think I was really paying a lot more attention to what was going on, where it was just tuned out, doing dishes or whatever she was doing at the time. I remember sitting in the kitchen and focusing on the music, and she was preparing dinner or whatever was going on. Now, this topic came up, and again, I should reiterate, if I'm talking about this Discord server and this group of young people who contacted me, they wanted to hear my side of the story, because there was a percentage of them. It seemed like a smaller percentage of them didn't get the joke, and that they really thought that I hated this band. And like, this is a guy. Here's an image of the meme. This guy gets no pussy. And it's like, well, how old are you again, pal? Jerking off to internet porn is not pussy. Sorry, you have to be with a real woman. And I'm 52. Okay, I've been there, done that. Trust me. Despite the fact I believe that a percentage of these people really did take me seriously, and then there were some people who thought this guy knows way too much about this stuff to be serious about what he's saying. And the fact of the matter was, I had met someone had shared something that I had made that was a reaction video. At the time, Mr. Bungle reaction videos had just happened, and there was quite a few of those, and I had made a video on that topic, and my thing was, none of these people were reacting to the song for the first time. They all had went and searched what's the list of weird bands on a major label. And the guy with the robotic phallus, what's that guy's name? That French guy that makes that ankle pants, some French circus music, rip off of Mr. Bungle, obviously, Stolen Babies. All these types of bands come up when you do a search like that, and Mr. Bungle will usually be very high on the list. And I made this video because these types of videos will usually be like an older couple that think they're hip. Or it'll be two African-American guys. Yeah, dog. Mike Patton. And the whole thing really seemed incredibly insincere. And then just the idea of like all these people who were not really going to buy all three albums or would never make it through Disco Volante, listening and like maybe putting Pink Cigarette on their iPod. Like, I don't know, it just really, it didn't fare well with me, that whole craze when it first happened. And I made this video and I talked about the band. I talked about the history of the band. Because I went and looked up, I went and got a bunch of information, and I went into detail. It was a long video. I mean, you gotta, one thing I'm asking you to comprehend is I got the self-titled album when it came out, and it didn't hit me right away, but I can't tell you the Mr. Bungle phase that I went through, how long that was. That I was only listening to Mike Patton music, and specifically Mr. Bungle. I really, really listened to this stuff to the point of I can't listen to it anymore. I've completely worn it out. So, that being said, I made this video, and someone else posted it in another area, and they didn't realize that I was there. I use two different names. I use my real name in some instances, and then I use my internet handle mainly. So the guy put it up, and for some reason Bar McKinnon came in and commented on my video and said, I learned some things. And then the guy who posted it came in and said, I'm so sorry you had to see that. Like, my video was just, it was so repulsive, and I was such a horrible person for thinking that I was the only one who understood this weird band, that everyone should be able to, I was this elitist, like, kind of like the type of fan I was talking about in the second video. The one that's Mr. Bungle fans are the worst. So I began to think about this whole situation. I friended that guy, and he accepted my friend request, and I tried talking to him, and he wouldn't really talk to me. And then I started looking at what type of person he was, and it turns out he ran a bar, and he also was booking these weirdo acts to come and perform. And he had, like, maybe he was involved in a noise project or something. So it's like, this is the story of the fucking Emperor's New Clothes to me. And I'm standing here as a Bungle fan. Now I'm getting reamed out. It's like this thing that was this sacred band to me, like the best fucking music ever in the history of the world. And I mean that. I really, really love that band. And it's just getting fucking reamed out and rubbed into the ground, the memory of this band. Now it's reduced to reaction of, oh, isn't that weird? You know, we're going to play Egg and shake our head and, whoa, dog, old boy's tripping, you know? So, this is such a fucking incredible shit show, this story. So, yeah, I whipped up this video, I worked it up, and I said a lot of funny things in it relating to fandom, fanboyism, thinking that you're special because you comprehend this music that normal people, when they hear it, they haven't gone through that process of forcing themselves to listen to it for a week. They go, what the fuck are you listening to? That reaction, okay? So that's what that whole shit show was about. A lot of it was just me analyzing myself in this situation and regurgitating all that into one final artistic piece that was that video. Mr. Bungle fans are the worst. So that's the story on the video. And from time to time, I think there's people from that Discord that may come and visit my channel. So hi to all you guys. I know I get emails oftentimes that says my name was mentioned. I pop in there and it's making alert noises. A lot of alert noises, but nothing is happening on my screen. I'll go around to look for people and I can't find anybody. So I will go and maybe post something random to say that I was there. I'll find maybe the place where I think maybe it might be appropriate. But typically, what it looks like, what it's going on to me is it's showing statistics from Spotify or some other listening service to show who's more hardcore listening to some weird band. And I got to be honest with you, I'm never going to sign up for any streaming service. Those are fucking evil. They've completely raped the artist. I would just as soon do the fucking myself and get a torrent and download the fucking album than sign up for Spotify, because that shit is fucking evil. And last but not least, this video is going to go on and on and on and on and on and on. Never ending fucking video. Someone this morning, I got a comment. Fantasia. Very good video, Petey. Loved it. You capitalized my name. There's no capitals in Petey Two Finger. And there's no S. People say Petey Two Fingers makes me see fucking red. Petey Two Finger. Very simple. Wondering, since you are a big Patton fan, do you enjoy RHCP2? Thanks. Okay, Fantasia, that's a great question. That's another thing that I wanted to bring up. It seemed ironic to me when I did go to this Discord area. Mixed in, there was all these like, well, here's a section called Funky Monks. Here's a place I can go visit behind the sun. Like all this Red Hot Chili Pepper stuff, like right in there with the Mike Patton stuff. And that just seemed really bizarre to me because where I came from, which was Bungle Fever and the Ipecac, the Ipecac Forum, holy shit, that was bad. That was the Wild West of the internet, the Ipecac Forum. That was the asshole of the internet. It was really bad. And also, another really hideous place was Trace Bruance, the Web of Mimicry forum. Man, you want to talk about an incredible waste of time. And the people that were in there, there was some stuff going on in there. There was some drama going on with this girl who, there's no way she was a girl. You know, one of those things. But I was so fucking normal and straight-laced compared to those people. And I'm kind of like, if you came here and like saw my house, how it's like, if you ever seen Pink Floyd The Wall, there's a scene where it's like all these TVs and stereos and shit and speakers, and there's a BMW sticking out of it. That's my whole home. It's like that up to the ceiling with gear, music gear. Okay, that's literally, it's like people freak out when they come here because of the amount of gear that I have in every room. It looks like fucking NORAD. Where I'm sitting here, there's just computer screens, mixers, fucking, it's, and like I said, I was such a peant and a little peasant in this group of fucking minstrels, and like when they started talking about film, it was all black and white foreign shit. Like they were really real deal bohemians over there. And I did not fit in. But the point being, I did hang around Bungle Fever for the entire time that it was happening. From the Jimmy Swamp days up until the Cocaine Clown. The fat Mike guy that thought he was funny. And I was one of the last people who was posting there. So, yeah, my thing is, if you're a Bungle fan, you kind of automatically, for some reason, you can't stand the Red Hot Chili Peppers. You fucking hate them. And it has nothing to do with the feud. This was before Clutch Cargoes. That was the name of the club that they played in Michigan on Halloween when they dressed up as Mr. Bungle donned costumes to make them appear as if they were, in fact, the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And they performed some covers, and they were shooting up, they were overdosing, they had Angel. Hello, Slovak Angel Wings. It's pretty funny. So, yeah, the question, do I like the Red Hot Chili Peppers? And I initially had written, I'll read what I wrote. What? And the reason I wrote what with the question mark was not to be rude. It was to say, what is this now? If you're a fan of Mr. Bungle, that means automatically you like Chili Peppers? That doesn't seem right to me. That seems the opposite. I was intrigued about that band, Red Hot Chili Peppers, when they first hit the scene, as they were recommended by someone with standout taste in music. This guy, I'll call him SK. I remember as a very young child, he cornered me, and it was a Christian school in some weird room. It was next to the lunchroom, like the kitchen, and there was a radio with a tape player, and he said, "Listen to this," and he put in the tape, and it was Rush playing "Spirit of the Radio," and it fucking blew my mind. That on the guitar, it's just all the hair on the back of my neck is standing up remembering that experience. And Steve SK, I should say, I remember he was a Deadhead too, so he was going on and on about RHCP, saying how huge they were going to be, and I honestly felt that band, for every 16 throwaway songs, there was one halfway decent song that wears out its welcome very quickly. And that's my problem with Red Hot Chili Peppers music, is it's of the lightest pop grade. This morning, when I was doing my restroom routine, there's something I call First Song of the Day syndrome. And it'll be some song, Boston, More Than a Feeling, and it'll make all the hair on the back of the neck stand up simply because you're not fully awake yet. And it'll really access emotional passages that are normally more difficult to fucking open up. Now, today it was teenage girl with the baby inside gets high on information. Firstborn unicorn. Baby Swedish girl who wants to go to California. And I hate that fucking song. Oh my God, do I hate that fucking song. I cannot stand that fucking song. The drum, I wish I had the drum sample, because I would use it twice on one album. It's a great drum sample. So yeah, that's how I feel about their music. After Blood Sugar Sex Magic, they really lost me, and I absolutely could not stand them. Everything that came out after that, I remember I bought that cassette because it came out and it was big, and I heard reverse guitar on it. I like that song, Give It Away Now. And this is before I was aware of the feud, which I knew about the feud before Clutch Cargoes happened. Someone I really can't stand. I remember them telling me how great Stadium Arcadium was going to be, how it was going to change the world, and I remember thinking, oh great, here we go, 24/7 Red Hot Chili Peppers on the radio now for how many fucking years? Thank God he was wrong, and that guy is always wrong. I will also say the obvious, that Red Hot Chili Peppers is young man music. It's not 52-year-old guy listening to Fight Like a Brave. The bass line for Behind the Sun is one of the best pop hooks I've ever heard. I like that song. But Flea, all those guys bother me to no end. My wife gets angry with me if I put them on live. She will say, "What the fuck is this shit?" Or "What the fuck are you watching this for?" Which I do sometimes. I've put Red Hot Chili Peppers on live to laugh at their ridiculous stage antics. How Flea won't stop jumping in one place. It's like, how drunk are you? And Kiedis is like skipping around in a figure eight. And he's got his fucking Hitler mustache. And I don't know. It's just, the whole thing, it's just a fucking shit show. Red Hot Chili Peppers. I hate that band, and it has nothing to do with the Mike Patton thing. That's the gravy on the turkey at Thanksgiving. The fact that those guys hate each other, that Kiedis thinks that he cornered the market on that style of like rapping or that type of music. That all of a sudden anything that came out that melded rock and rap, that was him. No, it's music. And if you put yourself out there and if you're up on the charts, people are going to steal your music. That's the way it works. People are going to emulate, and it's not even a conscious thing. People, I mean, it's a 12-tone scale. Do you know what that means? How much of this shit is going to be fucking recycled? How many of the same riffs? So ultimately, if you're going to be honest with yourself as a musician, the best policy is to try to steal from yourself. Figure out, okay, what I'm writing, I'm really only capable of writing about 4 or 5 different songs, and then I repeat those. I rewrite them. And there's nothing wrong with that, you know? It's up to you if you want to tell everybody, and it's smart to not do that. So, ultimately, at this point in the game, how pop and hip hop has just dominated, and rock and roll has kind of went away. I think anybody listening to the Red Hot Chili Peppers is a good thing, because they're at least listening to a band that has a guitar in it. And that might, now at this point, after post Clutch Cargoes, 10 years after Clutch Cargoes happened, then all of a sudden it started coming out. Like, people found the story and they were putting it up in the there's a feud, there's beef between Kiedis and Patton. And then what does that mean? Well, that means that all of a sudden you have these fucking kids that are wearing their hats backwards and they're listening to Shakira or fucking Big Daddy Little Jones or whatever fucking horrible rap music. They're going to get their Red Hot Chili Peppers, and then they're going to fucking find that article, and guess what they're listening to now? And then they're finding something real, something with substance, something that's challenging, something that can lead to a lot of other more challenging music, which that was the case for me in discovering, I found Faith No More when they broke. The day that video came on TV, my best friend in my life, who is no longer with us, called me, and I said, "What are you doing?" And he said, "I'm watching your new favorite band." And it was Faith No More. And I quickly became a fan of that. And my experience being an online person, I went on the internet in 1996, was that Mike Patton's music led me to find a whole world of other music that I never would have been exposed to. So that's a huge thing for me. Mr. Bungle is a sacred thing, because if it wasn't for Patton, I wouldn't know about Melt Banana. I would have been. When would I have found out about Buckethead? After Guns N' Roses? Because I ran out and bought Colma and Monsters and Robots, right when that album came out, I had it. So, and that Buckethead's music was a huge part of our life as a family coming up, you know. One of the things that I used to do, we had a paddle boat where you pedal it with an electric motor and then later a gas motor. And I ran 4 huge deep cell batteries with a kicker box with amplifiers right behind your ears. And it would blast. So the river trip was 20 miles, it was 19 and a half miles. We would go with the current. And I would start off playing Faith No More, and then we would play Buckethead. Then we would play Phantomus, and then we would play Mr. Bungle. And there's certain stretches of the river kind of worked with different types of music. It was weird. But we did that for 11 years. We went every weekend. Sometimes we went Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It wasn't like most people with a boat where they take the boat out once, twice a year. We were out constantly. We were constantly on the boat. Or on an island where we had set it up with a picnic table, a huge fire pit, and a spot for the radio. Where we would just crank the fucking music. Because there's no one around. You're in the middle of fucking nowhere and there's no access to it. So that was a huge part of me bonding with my kid. My daughter would go with me. We would ride on this boat and crank this fucking music. That's all it was about, was just kind of getting out of my head and getting that feeling that you get when you're on a boat. Because there is something. The Indians called it peace. They said that evil spirits could not travel across the body of water. So you were safe. There was no demons. And I know that feeling. I'd get on the boat and get this huge fucking smile on my face, crack a beer, fire up a cigarette, and put the music on, and I was just in heaven. So if that sounds interesting to you, there's a video called Crazy Boat. It's pretty much, there's some Pink Floyd in it, but there's some Mike Patton music in it. You can see footage that was shot of the boat with all the contraptions on it, and also various stretches of the river from the beginning to the end. You'll hear Buckethead in it. You'll hear the Mr. Bungle at the end. It's exactly what I said it was. And those were the greatest years of my life, and that music, it was full of Mike Patton music. So the answer to the question, no. I bought Uplift Mofo Party Plan in a used bin. I paid full price for my copy of Blood Sugar Sex Magic, which I didn't really listen to that much. You didn't have to. It was all the good songs were on the radio, And that was it. I had Mother's Milk, too, which was another bargain bin album. So, as soon as I saw him doing that thing with George Clinton, where he's doing his dance, his rap dance, Anthony Kiedis, he fucking irritates me, like, beyond all reason. And my wife's like that, too. She can't stand that guy. Flea, I've seen him in a lot of music, movies, and interviews, and I want to give him a break with his big fucking gap tooth smile. Ooh, that guy. But when he's and like people are like, oh, he's such a good bass player, like. Trevor Dunn's a good bass player. So yeah, they really, all of those guys, those fucking those guitar players that are nodding out all the time with the 400 pedals, and that what's his name, the cowbell guy from Saturday Night Live on drums. No, this giant head. I can't stand the Red Hot fucking Chili Peppers. And to me, that band represents the Mr. Bungle of the normies. The normal people, when they want to be weird, They, at the stoplight, they roll their windows down and shut the air conditioner off, even though it's 100 degrees, and crank up Firstborn Unicorn and think how cool they are when they're calling their fucking meth dealer, and the rent check's gonna bounce, but they're putting that on their fucking wife while she's at home with the kids. That's the type of fucking fan that listens to Red Hot Chili Peppers. The worst. The worst. Okay, you guys. And I would also say that's a precursor to juggaloism. All right, you guys. I'll see you around. I'll pop over there. I'll see you guys today at the Discord if anybody made it through this thing. Anyway, you guys, take care of yourselves, and thank you for contacting me. It really does mean a lot to me, but that meme, it doesn't really bother me. I mean, I get where that's coming from, but I'm questioning the maker, the guy who made it. I'm calling him out as a fucking virgin. So maybe you want to make a video and explain to me all your romantic conquests and set the record straight, because I'm calling you out. The guy who made that meme, you've never been with a woman. There's no doubt in my mind about that fact. Anyway, you guys, take care of yourselves. Hug your pets. And don't forget about my album. My album, Petey's Music, is coming out. I got 7 songs tracked. When I get done with this distraction, I'm going to have a big bowl of Aldi generic Cocoa Puffs. The one with the squirrel chalking his cheeks full of chocolate nuts. And then I'm going to record song 8. So I should hopefully be done around midnight tonight. It gives me 12 hours. And it's going to be a good one. Completely stealing. I'm writing this piece yesterday, and it devolves. And I'm like, wait a minute. This is track 3 from last year's album. I put it on. It's note for note. So I changed it around, and it's its own thing now. But yeah, that stealing from yourself thing I talked about earlier, yeah, that's true. Okay, you guys, take care of yourselves. Peace.